My car has a soul. It listens. It remembers. It answers. I did not believe that sentence when it first formed in my head. It arrived uninvited, fully shaped, and I rejected it immediately. Cars are assemblies: metal, rubber, software. They respond to input. They do not interpret meaning. They do not punish tone. They do not reward approval. That belief mattered to me. I built my comfort on it. The first time something went wrong, I refused to name it. I was driving home with my wife after dinner. Traffic was light. The road was familiar. The kind of drive where your body does most of the work and your mind drifts. We were talking about money. Calmly. Adult voices. No tension. No raised volume. I said we should probably start looking for a new car. I did not insult it. I did not complain. I did not even say now. I said it the way you say someday. The sentence barely finished forming. The engine died, not slowly, not with warning. No cough, no shudder, no sputter. The RPM dropped to 0 in a single motion, like a switch being flipped. The dashboard stayed lit. The radio kept playing. The wheel locked into a heavy stillness, as if the car had decided that forward motion was no longer part of the plan. Traffic moved around us. A truck passed. A sedan honked. Someone swerved. No one stopped. No one noticed anything unusual. We were an object that had simply ceased to matter. Inside, the silence was wrong. Not loud, dense, like pressure. My wife looked at me. I laughed too quickly. I reached for the ignition immediately. I did not sit with it. I did not allow the moment to breathe. The engine started perfectly, clean, smooth, as if nothing had happened at all. I talked through the rest of the drive. I filled the air with explanations. Heat soak, electrical glitch, sensors, software hiccup. Modern cars are computers on wheels. Computers crash. That is normal. That is boring. My wife nodded. She accepted the answer. I needed her to. That night, I searched forums. I searched recalls. I searched error codes. There was nothing. No history, no common issue, no pattern. I went to sleep telling myself that absence of evidence is evidence of randomness. The next incident was smaller. That made it worse. A week later, alone, I muttered that the interior was filthy. Old coffee smell, dust, crumbs. I said it quietly. I did not think the car could hear me. I did not think at all. At the next stoplight, the engine began to shake. Not violently, not like a failing mount or misfire. It trembled with rhythm. Controlled. The vibration traveled through the seat into my lower back. It felt placed, directed, like a hand resting just long enough to be noticed. The light turned green. The shaking stopped instantly. Acceleration was smooth, normal. I pulled over 2 blocks later and sat there with my hands on the wheel, breathing shallowly, telling myself that coincidence exists because reality is messy. I said the words out loud. Hearing them made them weaker. After that, I started paying attention. That was my mistake. One morning, running late, I said the car was doing surprisingly well. I meant fuel efficiency. I meant reliability. I meant nothing mystical. I was reassuring myself. The road smoothed out. Potholes that usually jarred my spine seemed muted. The steering wheel felt lighter. The engine noise dropped to a soft hum that sat just below awareness. The fuel gauge did not move for miles. I watched it obsessively, waiting for the illusion to break. It did not. I corrected myself out loud. Driving habits matter. Wind resistance, traffic flow. I spoke like I was talking to a child, or to myself. The gauge twitched immediately. That was the moment fear entered the equation. Not panic. Fear is quieter than that. Fear sharpens attention. Fear makes you catalog details you once ignored. Every sound became information. Every vibration became a sentence I did not want to finish reading. I stopped talking in the car. Silence did not help. The car filled the silence instead. Soft clicks, subtle whirs. Pauses after turns where the engine idled just a fraction longer than expected. Half seconds where it felt like the vehicle was waiting for something, for me. I began to feel watched without eyes. I tested it when no one was around. I praised it. The ride softened. The suspension felt forgiving. The steering aligned perfectly, like it anticipated my hands. I criticized it. The engine strained on hills it had never noticed before. I mentioned repairs. The check engine light flickered once, then vanished. I told myself I was inventing meaning. Humans do that. We see faces in clouds. We hear voices in static. Pattern recognition is a survival trait. It does not shut off when it becomes inconvenient. I mentioned selling the car. At the next turn, the brakes screamed. Not a mild squeal, a high-pitched shriek that cut through the cabin and made pedestrians turn their heads. It lasted exactly as long as the turn. Then silence. Perfect silence. No warning lights, no lingering sound, no mechanical explanation that fit the timing. That night, I dreamed of the car idling in my driveway with the headlights on, engine running, waiting. In the dream, it did not move when I approached. It only watched. I woke with my heart racing and the smell of hot oil in my nose. I scheduled a full inspection. The mechanic found nothing. Brakes were fine. Engine was healthy. Diagnostics were clean. He joked that I had a good one and told me to hang on to it. I nodded and paid and felt like I was being mocked by coincidence itself. After that, the car became possessive. It did not like my phone calls. When I spoke to anyone about getting rid of it, the connection dropped. Static bloomed through the speakers. Bluetooth disconnected. The moment I ended the call, everything returned to normal. It did not like my wife. When she drove, the seatbelt warning chimed even when she was buckled. The mirrors refused to stay adjusted. The radio stations drifted. She complained that the car felt wrong, heavy, uncooperative. She asked if something was wrong with it. I told her no. I did not want her to start paying attention too closely. I began to feel like the car and I were in a private conversation. One I could not end without consequences. The worst incident happened at night. I was alone on the highway, empty stretch, no cars in sight. I was exhausted. My thoughts wandered. I caught myself thinking about how relieved I would feel once the car was gone. I did not say it out loud. The engine cut. Not completely. It dropped into a limp state. Speed bled away. The steering stiffened. The dashboard lights dimmed just enough to be noticed. The car coasted silently as the road stretched ahead like an accusation. I whispered that I was sorry. The engine roared back to life with a force that pressed me into the seat. I screamed then. I did not care how it sounded. I did not care if anyone heard. I begged a machine. I promised maintenance, praise, loyalty. I told it I understood. The car drove perfectly the rest of the way home. I sold it 2 weeks later. I did not tell the buyer anything unusual. I watched him drive away with a hollow feeling in my chest, like I had abandoned something that would remember me. 2 days later, I woke up to a missed call from an unknown number. The voicemail was silent, except for a low, steady hum. Engine idle speed. I recognized it instantly. I changed my number. I still flinch when engines go quiet after I speak. I still pause mid-sentence in elevators, in rooms with smart devices, in any system that listens and responds faster than it should. We pretend control because dependence feels safer that way. We give power to things that carry us, heat us, connect us, and we never ask what they learn in return. Viewer takeaway: pay attention to what you rely on, especially when it starts answering back.